Hey folks, Matt here. Just wanting to do a little update. I'm going to try to make it a point of getting one of these out, hopefully bi-weekly. I don't think I think I should be able to get something out bi-weekly. If anything, just maybe an update on what I've been reading, what I've been watching. Maybe there won't always be an update showing new items that I've picked up. But I would like to get something out at least bi-weekly. But today's video is going to be basically a what I've picked up maybe in the last month or so. I think it's probably where I'm at with the items I have here today, and what I've been watching and reading, because that's what I want to focus on. Years back, I mainly just focused on the movies and Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff that I would collect. But past couple of years, I've gotten back heavy into reading a lot more. I've always read; it's always been something, but maybe a couple, 2 or 3 books a year would grab my attention, or stuff that I've had for years, pick it up, reread it, or read chapters at a time or something like that. But I've been heavy back into reading a lot. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's go with, so these are the two that I read last month. Only two this past month, but I had a lot going on. Was out of town a bunch and stuff like that. And actually, no, I take that back. There's one I'm missing here, and I'll just mention it because a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of stuff in storage, and a lot of times whenever I finish a book or I watch a movie that I know I'm not going to be reviewing anytime soon or rewatching anytime soon, or that I don't want to keep on hand, I will put it in storage. But one of the books I read in the last month that I don't have here is Hatchet. I think Gary Paulson is the author. It's usually a young adult novel. I remember reading it in school and saw a cheap copy of it and picked it back up and reread it, and it didn't really hold up for me. It really didn't. It was just a lot of boring stuff for the most part for me. I guess if it were closer to an adult survival story, but for I guess to make the character relatable and to give some context on other things that was weighing on the character's mind at the time, as if being a 13-year-old stranded in the Canadian wilderness is not enough. He was constantly thinking about the fact that his parents just split up, and that he knew that I think his mom was cheating on his dad, but his dad didn't know, and his dad didn't know that he knew. So there's all this stuff in there about that. And honestly wish it just had focused on the kid's need of survival, like trying to figure out how to live from moment to moment, being stranded in the wilderness after a plane crash. So, but anyway, back to it. Read Louis L'Amour's The Quick and the Dead. I haven't watched the movie in a long time. I think I'm going to do that as soon as I get done here. So maybe that'll be something I can talk about next video. But I haven't revisited that film in a long time, and that one's a pretty good one. I always love Sam Elliott, but it's a pretty good one. It's basically about a couple with a little boy who have it's in the Old West. I can't remember if it says what year or not, but they're in the Old West, and they've decided to go west, pack up all their things and go west to get away from city life, get away from all the trappings that come with that. But they didn't quite consider the pitfalls of being out in the wild. And the real conflict of the story is they have a run-in with this other crew who sees their weaknesses and decides that they're gonna go after them. And basically, you understand their intent is to take the woman and to do whatever with the guy and the kid and their items and stuff. But they get lucky enough that they run into this guy His name's Khan. I pronounced his last name as Valian, but anyway, this guy knows his stuff, and he's a cowboy and a guy that can live out on the land and understands what's happening to these people. And you just learn through the story that he's a good dude. He's got an attitude about him, but he's a good dude, and he wants he's gonna help them. Now he kind of disappears and comes back and comes and goes and stuff, but it's a pretty good story. It's all of the Louis L'Amour stuff that I've read in the last year or so that I've picked up, and you can pick his stuff up. Like, I always see his books at peddlers malls and stuff like that, and most of these I paid like 50 cents or $1 for or whatever, and they're always like short, brisk reads. They waste no time, just get right into everything. Like, sometimes 6 to 8 page chapters that just flow and just move, and that's the kind of stuff I like to read the most. Like, I'll read a long, lofty tome, which is something that I'm into right now, but I really prefer stuff that just moves. Just like, let's go. Like, stop wasting my time. I don't need a bunch of exposition about things that don't matter to me. Tell me the story. But anyway, to get into the other thing is I picked this up. It's Stephen King's first collection of short stories, Night Shift, at a peddler's mall. No, I got this one at a Goodwill for $2. And I think it's a book club edition, so it's not like a first edition hardback or anything like that. But yeah, there's some pretty cool stories in there. Some of the famous ones that are in here is Children of the Corn. Let's see here, Jerusalem's Lot. Let's see here, Trucks. I was a little let down by that one. I was kind of looking forward to that one the most because I love Maximum Overdrive, the film, and I don't know, it was fine. Sometimes they come back. Yeah. But I think my favorite was The Mangler. It was just kind of it was a mashup of a crime story where you've got these investigators like trying to investigate these deaths, and all of these deaths have been linked to this industrial laundry machine at this factory, and people keep dying because of this thing, and it comes down to it that they believe that it's possessed, and it's just a testament, in my opinion, to King's writing, because Stephen King, man, he makes a laundry machine scary, and it's a great story. I really enjoyed it. That one was really cool. Let's grab a couple movies here. Excuse me. I picked up The Counselor recently. This movie, I don't ever really care about this, but the movie didn't seem to have did very well critically when it came out, and that's just fine. But it was a movie that's kind of made for me. It was the screenplay was written by Cormac McCarthy, who's my favorite author, and the cast is Michael Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz, Javier Bardem, Brad Pitt, amongst others. There's a handful of other cool actors that kind of pop up in there and stuff. But man, just a dark story. If you like anything McCarthy ever wrote, or if you like, No Country for Old Men, stuff like that, the film or the book, it's right in that lane. It's just basically, I'll just read you the short thing. A savvy lawyer, Michael Fassbender, known for doing the right thing for the wrong people, decides to put his connections to the test by diving into a treacherous drug deal for some quick cash. But the counselor soon learns that having it all could mean losing everything. And I don't want to say anything more about what the story is about. Just know it is very dark and bleak, and nothing goes well for anybody. So if you're cool with that kind of stuff, and you just like seeing a well-acted, well-shot, well-directed film about some really dark material, check out The Counselor. Excellent movie. Really enjoyed it. Definitely something I'll go back to. And that one, I think I grabbed that one at Half Price Books for like $6. This one here, yes, I do still collect DVDs at the right price for the right film. But I grabbed The Contender. I'd never seen this. Yet another one. insane cast in this movie. Yeah, you got Gary Oldman, Joan Allen, Jeff Bridges, Christian Slater, William Peterson, Philip Baker Hall, Saul Rubinek, the great Sam Elliott. It's a political thriller. It's basically the Vice President of the United States died unexpectedly, and a new Vice President needs to be appointed. And Jeff Bridges, as the president, wants Joan Allen to be the vice president. And she is not the choice by several of the more conservative, politicians and senators and stuff. And they basically go into digging up dirt about her from her past, and accuse her of, being involved in an orgy in college. And it's about her kind of defending herself on that, or the lack of her defending herself, actually. But it's a cool flick. If you ever get a chance to come by it, it's if you're into political thrillers, you're into the cast at all, highly recommend it. Really love this one. Paid $1 for it on DVD. That's what I'm getting at. It's a $1. It's got some special features on it, and it's not Star Wars. It's not a movie where I really care about how great it looks. I'm not watching it for that. It looked fine on DVD. So, let's see here. So, I guess of things that I am doing right now, I have the slipcover off of it. I don't know if you guys out there agree, but I don't like reading hardbacks with the dust cover on. It's just something else to have to manage. It's sliding off. I'm afraid I'm going to curl it or something like that. So I always take the dust cover off of books that I'm currently reading and then put it back on whenever I'm done. But reading this one for to follow along with the one of my favorite podcasts, the Nerdy Reads podcast. Check them out if you like something. If you like listening to podcasts and you just want to an hour of being happy and smiling and laughing, personal friends with 1/3 of the crew, and interact with the other guys through the Discord and everything. And they're good people. It's like I said, it's always a wealth of positivity and laughs and just good times. So anyway, reading the Bright Sword. I've never read anything from this author. I do like fantasy. I don't think I've ever read anything related to King Arthur, anything like that, but it is an Arthurian tale, and it's pretty cool so far. It took a little while to get me into it. It took about, let's say, 100 pages or more, and that's fine. Sometimes stuff like that, it just depends on anything, depends on what it is. Sometimes it's just a little bit to grab you. I wasn't disliking it, it just hadn't sunk its teeth into me to where, like, oh man, I've just, like, this is a page turner now. It took a little while to do that for me, to become a page turner. But it's well written, cool story. So that's what I'm reading currently right now. And let's see here. Pickups today. We'll go with these pickups today. Today I went by, if you live in Louisville, Kentucky, we have Ben's Bargain Center. It's like kind of a closeout store, and they got a little bit of everything. You got to watch their videos on their Facebook to find out like what the new stock is that's coming in from week to week. But it's random stuff. Like, one day it might be a bunch of shoes, next day it's a bunch of groceries. Next time it's workout equipment or athletic equipment or school supplies or whatever. You just never know what they're going to get in. But they do carry a little bit of everything, and I always peruse their movies and DVDs to see if anything new's been added. And I did come across the Justified City Primeval, the single season of this. I love the show Justified. It's my absolute favorite TV shows of all time. And this was a cool continuation. It was like followed up, like, I think 10 or 12 years after the show ended. I want to say like 10. I can't remember exactly when Justified ended and this picked up and stuff. But it's a single one-off season. With the way it ends, I'm kind of hoping that they come back for another one. They come back and do something else with it. But the story of this one, if you don't know Justified is based on characters created by Elmore Leonard. He wrote tons of crime novels, tons of Western novels, and probably the most famous thing anybody who doesn't read or doesn't know Elmore Leonard would know him from is he was the author of the book that Quentin Tarantino based Jackie Brown on, Rum Punch. And anyway, he created this character, a lawman from Eastern Kentucky, which is pretty cool because I have family heritage. I'm from Kentucky, family heritage from Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, Central Kentucky. But anyway, great one-off story, really cool, really loved it. This was I think $10 for the whole season. And then I'm gonna pronounce it as Conager, but yet again, back to Louis L'Amour. Got Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross and Conager. This one was $2, I do believe, for the DVD. So to check that one out. And I took a shot on this one. It looks like it's got pretty mixed reviews, but it was $5, and it's a pretty new book. But and I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce his last. Well, I guess I'll shoot for it. It's The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I hope I got close on that. But from what it said inside, it says this is a tale of murder. So, and then I think on the back, it says unreliable narrators, twists and turns, a mystery, stuff like that. So I don't know. I'll check it out. It looks like a pretty short book, and couldn't pass it up for the price. So okay, and this stack I got. Let's see here. Okay, well, we'll start with most of the stuff on this stack. This is a combination. I'll let you know like when it flips over to. This is a combination of stuff I got for my last trip to Half Price Books, and oh shoot, I always forget the name. Salvation Army. Salvation Army is great. Their paperbacks are 50 cents a piece. I got some awesome stuff from there. So I'll try to go through these pretty quick. First on the stack, this was from Half Price Books. Outer Dark, Cormac McCarthy. Never read this one. It's basically, from what I understand, about a woman who bears her brother's child, and her brother supposedly takes it out in the woods and kills it, but I guess she doesn't believe it or finds out that he lied, and she goes on a search to find the child. But if you've ever read anything by McCarthy, you can assume it's going to be extremely dark and very straightforward with incredible prose. Nobody writes like Cormac McCarthy. It's just amazing. This one I've been looking for a little bit just to try something different out, but it's Fever Dream, George R.R. Martin. It is a vampire novel, so I don't know how much horror there is here. But, for a guy who is most well known for fantasy, it's going to be interesting to check out something he wrote closer to the horror genre. So, this is Mastering of Modern Fantasy's groundbreaking vampire novel. So, looking forward to checking out that one at some point. I grabbed, this was pretty cheap, and, I've been wanting to look into this for a while, so it's The Gunslinger. It's the beginning of the Dark Tower, and it's the revised and expanded edition. I thought I saw in a couple of videos that people talked about this, that King wasn't satisfied with his original version, so he went through and kind of, I think, he added some stuff to it. So, I'll get to this one eventually. I went ahead and just bought the first one thinking, if for some reason I'm not really into it, then, I won't worry about reading the rest of the Dark Tower books, but if I like it, then I can always pick them up a little at a time. I'm fine with that. I'm not too worried about that. I'll grab both of these together. So I always like to try and raid the $2 clearance shelf, and man, I had a field day this time whenever I went to Half Price Books most recently, and I've read from this author once, and it was one of her early shorter books, and I've always wanted to get her two main works that she's known for, and that's Ayn Rand, the Fountainhead, and Atlas Shrugged. These are some tomes, so whenever I do dive into these, I feel like I'm going to be occupied for a pretty good amount of time, but if you don't know anything about Ayn Rand, look it up. Can be a somewhat controversial figure in some people's eyes. I'm not bothered by it. So do your own research. But anyway, let's grab couple. Let's grab these three all at a time. So these were all from the $2 clearance shelf. I grabbed this because I love the movie and I love picking up these novelizations of films. Like it was very common whenever I was younger and even before my time for companies to put out a book of just a film. Not that the book was written first and then the film. No, the book was written to be the film. That's really fun. But anyway, this is The Gauntlet, starring Clint Eastwood. Really fun movie. A movie that doesn't get mentioned a lot whenever it comes to Clint's career, and for good reason. Listen, it's it's not his best work, but it's good. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's just when you're going to start ranking Clint Eastwood's stuff, it's not going to be way up there towards the top, but it's a solid flick, fun flick. And then a rather well-loved copy of Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury. It's fine. It's in good shape. It's listen, for $2, I'm not a real stickler on stuff like that. As long as I go through it. One thing I always do look for, though, is people written in there or highlighted and stuff like that. Just keep those. Like I hate when they even try to sell that stuff. Like, I don't want your copy that's been written in or taken notes with and stuff. It's annoying. Not a fan. And then I haven't read this stuff since school. It's yet another thing. Old stuff I want to go back into and check out and see if I still like it. But the Jack London, White Fang, and Call of the Wild. I remember reading these in either middle school or early in high school and digging it. So grab that for $2. And these last 5 here came from I'm telling you, I keep forgetting, the Salvation Army. If you have a Salvation Army near you, check them out. I can't guarantee that all of Salvation Armies across the world have similar prices, but the one that I have that I can have access to pretty close to me, it's actually on my way to work. They're great. I mean, they have an awesome selection. There's a ton of books there. I've went twice in about 2 months, and I did find I found like 2 or 3 books the first time and about 5 this time. So it seems like they do get stuff in pretty regular. You gotta watch at places like that. Like, I love going to peddlers malls and thrifting and stuff like that. But you gotta go on some kind of rotation. Like, if you only have one around you, going once every couple of weeks or whatever is probably going to be a big waste of time. Unless you're lucky, unless you have one that has a lot of turnover in their product. But in my experience doing that, you're not going to see a lot of new stuff. But anyway, I grabbed a copy of The Invisible Man, H.G. Wells. This looks like it's going to be a pretty cool read. I read, let's see, I've never read The Time Machine. I read War of the Worlds as a young man. And I'm trying to remember if I've read anything else of his. But this one's supposed to be one of his better ones. Pretty cool. It's a Scholastic edition. It's got an introduction by M.T. Anderson. I'm not quite sure who that is. But I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Probably maybe wait around like October or something. Like, I've got a stack that, I've got a few things in my backlog that wait until around like horror or spooky season or whatever to read certain ones and stuff. So it's pretty cool. This one threw me because it's a Western novel written by the actor Gene Hackman. It actually has his photo on the back. Had no idea he had done any writing. Apparently, this is the first book he wrote by himself. He had written some books as partnered with another person previous to this, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sounds good. Kind of flipped through it a little bit and read some stuff here. Like the writing so far. Seems interesting, so check that out. So, yet another one for 50 cents. Grab this one, total blind buy. Know nothing about this particular story. Don't know if this is one of his better books, one of his worst books, whatever. Figured for 50 cents, I'll shoot my shot. And it's a Zane Grey novel. So he's kind of a Louis L'Amour counterpart, one of the famous Western writers that just wrote a ton of these, Western novels and stuff. So, definitely dive into that one at some point. But this one just caught my eye, and man, I was reading this one during some downtime at work the day that I picked these up, and man, there's some fascinating stuff in here. I don't know if it's something that I would read cover to cover. Maybe read sections, and if I get a little bored, maybe flip forward a little bit and stuff because of how it's written. But it is Benjamin Franklin's biography, or actually it's his autobiography and other writings. And man, it's really interesting. Like there was one section in here where he kind of, I don't know if I could find it quickly or not, but that I found where he just like wrote these like 12 like tenets or whatever that he lived his life by. And I think they could be like very applicable to today. Yeah, like yeah, these virtues and stuff. Temperance, eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. Silence, speak not but what may benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. Order, let all your things have their places. Let each part of your business have its time. Just interesting stuff. Cleanliness, tolerate no uncleanliness in body, clothes, or habitation. Just all these different things that he wrote. I mean, he's like one of the great Americans, one of the great men of the last couple 200-300 years. So it'd be pretty interesting to go through and check out his writings and stuff. And then finally, last one, definitely another one, probably saving for spooky season. But I could not believe how great this cover, how great shape this was in, and all that. And really, really excited about this one because I've only ever read one thing from this author, and it is The Thief of Always by Clive Barker. And apparently, after doing a little research, this one can kind of be considered young adult, but then I had other stuff where I read that they were like, yeah, maybe not quite that, but it's pretty cool. It's got these great drawings before each chapter by the author. He's an artist as well, filmmaker. If you've ever seen the film Hellraiser or Candyman, that's Clive Barker. But really love this guy. Really love anything I've ever interacted with that he's been involved in. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to try to start doing these more often. Hopefully, won't be as long as this one. Or if you're still hanging in there with me, I appreciate the hanging in through the length of the video. But yeah, hopefully do these more often. If anything, every couple weeks, try to update on what movies I've been watching, what books I've read, and what I think about them. I don't know if I really want to call anything of what I plan to do reviews. If you appreciate my opinion or align with my thoughts, then maybe consider some suggestions or whatnot that I make. But otherwise, just want to thank anybody who spent any time watching this, and just leave me some comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing, or things you might like to hear from me, or things you might like to hear me discuss or talk about, or anything like that. So, but as always, hope everybody's having a good day, and take care.